It occurred to me this week that I've never really shown you how I test products and figure out what things I like. So I recorded myself on a day in my studio testing out a bunch of stuff that had come in and had sat in a box for a while. So this is me testing out Trinny London Plump, and for some reason it peels on me. I checked it online and I couldn't find anyone else that had experienced the same thing. This is the second time, following instructions, little tiny bit of moisturiser, and then this time I'm waiting. I'm going to wait for ages until I put my SPF on. Here's the SPF, 4 pumps. Make sure you put your 4 pumps on, right? So on goes the SPF. This is Trinny London. I love this SPF. One of the main things with SPF for me is that if it comes anywhere near my eyes, it could sting and destroy my week because my eyes really react to it. So, but this doesn't at all. I'm now popping on some Bare Minerals. This is a skin tint, a matte skin tint. Started pilling again. So off that comes. Oh, I was probably really giving it a go just on the hope that this would work, but no, it's pilling on my neck. My necklace here is just like absolutely covered in product. So off that comes, then we go again. Right, here we go. Plump it. This is the third take. On it goes. Now we're waiting for an absolute eternity. So I'm going to do some facial massage while I'm sitting here out of boredom. I'll probably drink a coffee. And it will be about 5 minutes, getting rather hot now. Here we go. Don't know what that is, probably some self-soothing. A little bit more moisturiser. So, there we go, 4 pumps. Yeah, I've forgotten how many pumps that was. And then on that goes. So it's not the time. I actually think that sometimes you just don't get on with a product. And it's no reflection on Trinny, because I've looked everywhere. And I can't find anybody that's experienced the same thing as me. So this foundation worked great. This is the Sisley Phyto Tint Nude in 1W Cream. And everything seems to be holding up. We don't seem to be getting any pilling here. My necklace is fed up with life. It's literally covered. RMS Beauty, this is their brow product. I've had a lot of these products sitting around for a while, and it was my time to check them out. Sometimes it's like, I don't know, they don't grab me initially, or I don't really know the brand very well, and it just takes a little bit of time. So I've cleaned all excess product off my brows, and now we're using the RMS Beauty brush, and then this colour, which is medium. Now, I was a bit remiss about this colour. I did think that this was going to be too light and too warm, but I checked it in daylight, and this colour was fantastic, and I really, really enjoyed wearing a powder shadow on my brows. One of the great things about using a powder on brows like mine is that my brows are quite sparse. You can see through them, and so this gives them a little bit of fullness. I'm now using the Trinny London. One end is a brow product, and I like the brow product very much, and the other end is a mascara, which is also great. When I do this, I figure out all of the problems with all of the products and what I'm going to say to you. And my experience with this product is that using the brow gel is fantastic, but because you have the mascara on the other end, it's kind of weighted weirdly. And so it didn't feel natural, and I kept kind of making mistakes and blobbing it. You can see I made a little bit of a mess using that brow gel, but I do like the product very much. It just would take some getting used to for me. So you can see, and now I'm just demonstrating that it's quite heavy on that end. So I found, which you probably wouldn't want to do at home, but for me, I would need to take the mascara off in order to do it comfortably. This is the Sisley Eye Concealer. It actually has a French name, but I'm not going to butcher it. Phyto something éclat. The shade I'm using is 1. It comes with this brush, which, I'll be honest, I did not expect the brush to work for me. I like a much fluffier brush for concealer, but this worked very, very well, and I could get very close to my bottom lashes, so I really enjoyed that. Moving on now to a different type of concealer, also by Sisley. This is the Stilo Correct Perfect Camouflage Face Corrector, and this is also in shade 1. I found it a little bit yellow, this one, and I also wanted it to have more coverage, I'll be honest. I enjoyed using it. I love the shape of it. I found it very easy to apply, but I just felt that for me, I would want more coverage in those particular areas where I have something that I want to cover. This is the Iconic London Multi-Use Cream Blush, Bronze and Highlight Palette. It says here, 6 blushing, bronzing and highlighting shades that have been expertly created to add a full face of dimension and radiance to all complexions. I love this palette. I love the texture of it. I'm not the biggest fan of saying something's universal and that it suits everyone, but I found this to be as universal as it could be. I was slightly concerned about the highlighter initially because I just thought that is going to look ashy on any deeper skin. But when I started messing around with it, I realised it had such a beautiful, rich undertone and that it would work really well. All of these I liked a lot, but also they can be worn quite sheer, and so it wouldn't be difficult for me to wear them either. I used the lightest of the contour shades here, and you can see it's pretty good. This here is RMS Eye Lights. The colour is Eclipse, which is this nice sort of sage, shimmering sage. And it comes with a strange key, and I don't really understand why it comes with such a, I mean, it's beautiful, but what do you need it for? You hardly need any of this product at all to necessitate the need for that key. By the time you do need it and you get to the bottom, you are definitely going to have lost it. However, it's a beautiful product. It goes on very well. You can see I'm trying it with a brush, and then I'm layering it to check that it works, layered, and then I shall also use my finger to see what gives it the best payoff. I'll also wear these products all day to see what the longevity is like on these. I'll save you the suspense, it was wonderful. This here is the number 7 palette. This is Matte Nudes, I believe. Very beautiful palette. I found this quite enjoyable to work with. I would say that these are, they're not the most pigmented, but they're not sheer either, and actually the amount of pigment is correct because you cannot mess it up. So you can see you get such a pretty eye, and then I'm blending here. Sorry, my dogs are in the studio, so they're distracting me a little bit. And then I'm going for a little bit of definition through the socket. We're going to give that a go. So when I test products out, I always test them with the same kind of makeup style so that I can have a comparison. So I always end up looking like a made-up ballerina. So here we go, just through the socket with that brown, and then I'll take the darkest shade and I will use an angled brush and see if I can get a liner out of it. And this was kind of soft, but again, as I said, it's as much as you would need if you're not a big makeup wearer. Then I added, you may have just seen that flash up, a tiny bit of water to that to see if I could use it as a liner if I wanted to. And so you can see there's a bit more depth there now, and it worked perfectly well. And then just giving it all a little bit of a blend. I overall really enjoyed that palette. Let's give the lashes a curl. Then we're back to the Trinny mascara. I liked it as a mascara. It stayed on really, really well, and it did not transfer at all. Right, let's look at a powder. This is a Swede powder. I'm using shade light, and I've opened it and I've thought, hang on, that looks not actually as light as a normal shade light would be. I've put it on and I feel like I would like it a little bit lighter than that. So I'm going to swap it out and try a different powder. Probably great for me in the summer, but right now, not so much. So this powder is called Studio 10 Prime and Perfect Refining Powder Silk. You may see some confusion on my face. I've opened the palette, and there's 2 powders in there, but there's absolutely no explanation as to how to use it or what to do with the second powder. The first powder, the main powder, is amazing if you get shiny during the day. This will make you flat. So flat. Here we go. Look, I've gone back to the box. I'm trying to read the instructions to find out what to do with the second powder. By my mind, things should be obvious because most people don't want to read instructions. It should be obvious. It's not working well enough as a highlighter for it to be a highlighter. I believe it's probably a bit like the Hourglass. Oh, pilling. Right there in the middle. I shall just patch it up. Yes, I believe it is a little bit like the Hourglass ambient powder, but I can't be sure because it didn't say on the box. Back to that palette. Now I'm going to start trying darker colours in this palette. As I said earlier, I have the lightest shade on. So that's a little bit of highlighter worked in there. Then I'm going for the middle shade of contour. And now I'm going to start trying that darker shade of contour just to see whether I could wear it if I wanted to. I mean, I'd have to blend it a lot, but it is possible. I love how blendable these are. Now we're going in with the pink blush to give that a go. See, I think that would be delightful on deeper skin. I really do. I like it a lot. Big fan. Back to this powder. Again, I'm a big fan of this powder. I just think that there needs to be more instructions. Here we go. This is RMS Lip Lights in the colour Crush. Now, funnily enough, this, in its little aluminium tube, does not come with a key, and it's impossible to squirt it out, which is the most hilarious thing. However, the shade is fantastic. My lights here make me much brighter than I am in real life, but this shade is very, very beautiful. Yeah, I adored it. But I'll probably come back to it at the end, but let's try some of these other ones. I'm unclear as to what these are. These are RMS Beauty as well. This is me trying to figure out, but it says absolutely nothing on the packaging. And yes, I'm aware that I could just go on the website and find out very, very quickly. But when I try these products, I always think about people at home, how they want to use them. And do you want to go on the internet every time you buy a new product to figure out how to use it? It should be obvious. Just to say, there's nothing wrong with any of these products, but it is my job to scrutinise them and to figure out any problems that you might have at home before you encounter those problems, and to give you the truest reviews possible. I mean, this RMS Beauty Lip Lights in the colour Crush is bloody glorious. I found it very comfortable to wear. Obviously, it didn't last very long, but you don't expect a product like that to last for hours and hours and hours. That was the first thing to go. Then the cheek faded, but the eyes stayed all night. Right, let's try and get some of that product off this necklace and rescue her. She's had the worst day ever. There we go. I hope that was helpful, guys. Thanks. Bye. Please forgive me for these being very unflattering pictures. I'm just out and about snapping as I go. So this is about an hour later. This is about 2.5 hours after application, so the lip is on its way out. You can see that the eyes have not moved at all. There's no mascara anywhere. Everything has really held up. Again, it's dark now, so the eyes have held up. This is about 11 o'clock at night after dinner, and this is shortly before I took it off. So no cheek, no lip, but everything else held up really, really well.